Hey everybody, my name is Louisa. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my studio. I thought that I would go over all the storage options that I have put together for myself, and I thought I would share that with you. I had a couple of viewers asking me about the storage bins, the bead trays, the earring tree. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share as much as I can with you and show you how I organize my work, and hopefully it'll help you get more organized or give you some ideas on how to organize your workspace. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around and show you my organizing trays. Before we do that, I wanted to show you my cat Boo Boo sleeping on his cat bed. So he's being a really good boy today. Okay, so here's a view of all of my bead trays. Well, actually they're not just beads, they're everything, findings, plastic bags, just, you know, all crystals, gemstones, everything you can imagine. It's all in these bins, and I have a system that I use. It's not for everybody, but it works for me. And basically, you know, when you're trying to organize a bunch of beads, you have two choices. Well, you have several, but you can either organize by color, or you can organize by type, whether it's a pearl or a crystal or a gemstone, or you can organize by size. So I guess it all depends on what you're working on, or what your most common piece of jewelry is. And for me, you know, it changes. You know, sometimes I'm into the bead weaving, and so I use a lot of seed beads and crystals. And there are other times when I do wire work, and then other times when I use a lot of chain. So it varies for me. And so these labels that you see, I change them quite often. And you know, they're not always labeled the same, but I have some that are, and they're always labeled the same. For me, here's how I organize. I organize by size and by type. So for instance, I'll have some bins that contain bicones, and then I'll have different size bicones. So I'll have like 4mm, 6mm, 3mm bicones. Same thing with gemstones. Well, actually with gemstones, let me just go ahead and zoom in. Excuse my cat. He's sleeping very peacefully here. Okay, so basically the way I do it, you know, like if it's something that I have a lot of, for instance, I have a lot of bicones. So over here you're going to see different size bicones, 3mm, 4mm, 6mm, because I couldn't put them all in one of these boxes. These boxes are not that big, they're kind of small. I got them at Walmart if you're interested. It's about, usually I get like a pack of 6, and it costs me around between $27, $28. And they're, let's see if I can take a quick look. They're 11 by 6 and 5/8 inches wide, 11 inches long by 6 and 5 inches wide by 2 3/4 high. And they're by Sterilite. So you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Target. I've gone into Target before and just bought them individually. You don't have to get a 6-pack, but they're very convenient because they don't take up a lot of space, and I can put a lot of things in them. So over here, as you can see, I've got my collection of seed beads. So I have the 6-0, the 8-0, the 11-0, the 15-0 seed beads. And then I've got gemstones. Now for gemstones, because there's so many different kinds of gemstones, I don't have the storage space to have a bin for each type of gemstone. So basically right now, you know, because of the kind of collection I have 2 bins, well, 3 bins actually. One that has small gemstones, another one that has the large gemstones, and a third one that has gemstones that are different shapes, like cabochons, points, nuggets, that kind of thing. So, you know, as my collection grows, I may have to split it up, you know, into colors or types. So it all depends on how many beads you have, what category they are. You know, that's going to determine how you're going to break it up. So the other thing too, you know, this is where I usually do my work, the work that doesn't require a lot of light. Over here on this side where I have the 2 lamps, usually I come over here if I'm doing bead weaving where I need a lot of light and I need to have my magnifiers on. So this is where I do that work. But for the rest of the jewelry, I have sufficient light over here to do most of my pieces. So what I try to do is I try to keep the pieces that the bins that I use a lot of within reach. So for instance, right in front of my tools over here, you'll see that I have a box with findings, spacer beads, links and components, pendant charms, jump rings, eye pins, head pins. So keeping that within reach comes in handy. And again, that changes. It depends on what I'm working on. If I'm doing bead weaving, I don't normally use spacer beads and links and components. So these boxes may get rearranged depending on what I'm working on. So anyway, this just gives you some idea of how I organize my jewelry items. So here you can see the round beads are 8mm, 10mm, 6mm, 4mm, and then the ones over on this side are boxes that I don't get into very often, like chainmail, for instance. I don't do a lot of that. I've got a box with miscellaneous beads and charms and triangle beads at the bottom. I don't use those very often. The ones that are unmarked here, well, they're actually marked, but just with a marker. These are bargain bead box leftovers from 2018, 2019. You know, this is just temporary. I want to try to get through the leftover beads and, you know, use them in various pieces. And then once I do, it'll free up those 2 boxes. But basically, this is how I do it. And over here, this is a question that one of my viewers asked me about, are these earring trees. And I like to keep my earrings, you know, on these trees, because if I put them on the little earring cards or boxes and I store them, then I forget about them. So I just like to keep them here so I can see what I have. And if you're interested in these trees, I got them on Amazon. Actually, I got one on Amazon and the other one I got on eBay because I saw one that was really well priced on eBay. It was only $18. On Amazon, they're about $27, $28, and you just have to be careful. If you go to eBay, be careful, because some of the merchants or vendors will sell them for a lot higher than Amazon. So it's called the Zeyu, Z-E-Y-U, Home Jewelry Tree Stand. And they're just awesome because I can fit so many pairs of earrings. As you can see, let me come in closer so you can look and see how many little holes there are, and you can fit a whole bunch of earrings on these. They're absolutely awesome. I love them, and they're very heavy too, very sturdy. So, you know, they won't tip over very easily. So those are for the earrings. And then of course my bead trays, these are by Beadsmith. I use these a lot. This is work in progress, and I always keep a ruler on there so I can measure out my bracelets and necklaces and whatever. But I also keep them, here's a tray that has new items that I've received that I'm yet to put away. So I put them on this tray, and of course then you need one that has miscellaneous stuff that I just kind of throw on here if I'm working on a piece and I finish and I've got a lot of things left over. I just throw it on here until I'm ready to put it all away in the bins. So I'm not as organized as you think, but I do have, it's like a junk tray. Not junk, I mean it's not junk, but it's items that I just haven't had the time to put away yet. And you know, if I'm like working on something and I have a roll going on and I don't want to stop, I'm on a roll and I don't want to stop, then you know, if I have to put something away rather than going into the bins, I just throw it on here, and then eventually I get to it. Eventually I do clean up, but yeah, this is where I just kind of throw everything on here until I'm ready to put it away. And then over here are pieces that I've finished that I have not put on necklace stands or store them away for sale later on. I just keep them on here for a period of time until I'm ready to do something with them, either give them away as gifts or put them on the necklace stands or show them to friends. Here's a beautiful bead weaving bracelet that I made recently. I should do a tutorial on this one because it's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, this is where I keep my work and other work that I've done in the past, mostly bead weaving right there. So yeah, they're by Bead Smith. They're absolutely awesome. They're pretty large. They kind of stack nicely as long as it's not too bulky. They stack nicely on top of each other. And you can get them on Amazon. I think they're about $10. The size is 11 by 14 inches. And you do have to buy these mats separately. They're not that expensive. I think you can get 3 for like $5 or something like that. I don't remember how much, but I know they're very, very reasonable. So yeah, these bead trays are awesome, $10 each. I have a whole bunch of them. These are not the only ones I have. I'm planning on getting more because they're just so useful. You can pick up your work, carry it around, and then store things on it. They're just really, really handy to have. And so moving right along, let's talk about the tools. So the tool storage, the tool storage, what it is, these are actually lipstick trays. And I like using them because it's stepped up. Can you see that? So I can see the tools a little bit better, the ones in the back. I can see them a little bit better. So these are tools that I don't use that often. The ones that I use a lot are over here in front of these trays. So yeah, these are the tools that I use very often, and I keep them handy. And the reason these spools are here is because they're too large to fit in one of these bins. So I just keep the spools here. And let's see, what else? I just have some odds and ends, like over here you'll see a bunch of little trays. I got these a long time ago. This is when I first started getting into beading. They're at least, I don't know, maybe 10 years old. And I do have some seed beads over here. These are seed beads that I use a lot, so I keep them handy instead of, trying to get them from the trays over here. So the ones in the trays are colors, unusual colors that I don't use very often. What I have over here are colors that I use a lot, like bronze or silver, and different sizes of the ones that I use often. So I keep those handy. And then that's about it. I mean, I have another little basket here with pens and scissors and ring sizers and mandrels and hammer, and I even have a leveler. I use this leveler, believe it or not, when I'm photographing the necklaces that are on the necklace display stands. I want to make sure that I hang them evenly, so I use the leveler for that purpose. And here are my bead stoppers. These are just clips that I use for my bead stoppers. And that's basically it. I just wanted to give you a quick overview. I do have some other bins underneath the desk, as you can see. This little stand here contains glues and stamps and other odds and ends. Yeah, and so that's basically it. This is my workspace, the cat bed included, and the Fire Mountain Jam catalogs, as you can see, a whole bunch of them. And so yeah, this is it. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've given you some idea of how to get organized. It's not easy. Everybody has a different method, and it all depends on your needs and what you're working on. So these stickers, oh, by the way, these stickers are Avery stickers. I got them on Amazon, and let me just see what size they are so you can get some idea. So the bins, you know the size already. I've given you the size. And these little stickers are 1 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches, Avery, and they come off very easily. So you can stick them on, and a few months down the road, you can peel them off and put new ones on there. So yeah, I use those quite a bit. So that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks a lot for watching. And by the way, I really appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. And I hope everybody has a great day. Give me a thumbs up if you have time, and thanks again. Bye.